Dee Harris.
Well, speaking of 2020, we got this whole crazy COVID situation, global bastard type of thing going on.
Tell me about it.
Um, how has that affected, your independent bookings and some of the shows you had lined up this year?
Well, it canceled a lot of them. But here's the funny thing. I'm a very positive person, and so are you. That's probably, that's why we connect really well on social media. Um, I've I've always looked at the bright side. So my only goal this year was to travel out of state with ring announcing. And so in January, I went to Portland, Oregon. And then I had one show in Santa Maria, and then the lockdown happened in March. And I haven't ring announced since, but my first show since then was the recent show that I just did at Mission Pro in Buda, Texas. So I still reached my goals. I only did, I did 3 shows, but 2 of them were out of state. So I'm proud of myself, no pressure there. But other than that, it hasn't really affected me too much. I think we all needed a break. I think these shows needed a break. A lot of people needed to step back and see what they really wanted to do with their promotions and whatnot. I hope that, when it picks up, that I can pick up with it, once 2021 becomes normal again, if it ever does in any kind of way.
I hope so.
I hope that I can, I hope that I can pick up with all that and just take off and do more shows and go even to more states and to different states and go even further this time, you know what I mean? But other than that, I'm pretty happy with, what I've done in 2020 so far with pro wrestling.
Now, as we switch gears a little bit, I recently saw your interview with Lance Cardoza of Lucha Extreme, and I could tell during that interview that, ring announcing has been sort of an escape for you. Because, everyone has a story. That's what I always say. So how has this profession affected different aspects of your life?
Well, it proved me right that I was meant for some type of greatness. And so I remember before I became a ring announcer, I mean, my life was rough growing up, whatnot. But before then, it was really rough. And I was really lost. And I was like, I know I'm supposed to be doing something, but I know I'm not supposed to be over here slaving for somebody else, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, staying away from my child. Like, no, that's there's more for me. So when I made that decision to just focus on myself and to do what I had to do, ring announcing pretty much came into my life, and it picked me up. It gave me some type of hope, like, I told you so. So after that, nobody could really tell me shit. Like, no, I mean, you ain't meant to do this. I'm like, shit. yeah, right. Like, if I wasn't the why am I a ring announcer? Explain that. No, but because of that, it didn't matter what trials I faced. And, the universe, when you want to do something really bad, the universe is going to test you. And so I went through hell and back. I literally was homeless for a little bit, going back and forth from different friends' houses, sneaking into my mom's apartment again because, she lives in the projects, and she didn't have room for me. And so I was sneaking in there, but it didn't matter because I was a ring announcer. Like, it just didn't matter. I was like, oh, well, this is just going to be part of my story. Let it pass. And so I allowed it. And I think that's where, where I passed the test with the universe, because I allowed it to pass. I allowed those hardships to be what they were. And I learned what I was supposed to learn from it. And I moved forward from it. And as ring announcing, as I started getting better in ring announcing, I actually started getting more stable in my personal life here at home. Like, I didn't have my own home. And now I wake up in a beautiful apartment every day. And now I wake up on a king size bed, and I only use half the bed and my cats use the other half. You know what I mean? But I'm blessed. Like, I'm out here, I'm happy. I'm doing good in my personal life, and I'm doing even better in my ring announcing career. So I think because ring announcing was something I wanted so much, nothing really distracted me from it. And because of that, I think that's where my blessings came from. And that's why my success is starting to make its noise the way it's been making, because I've been putting a lot of work. And I knew that if I put in hard work somewhere, it was going to matter. So I could have either put hard work in working, in my old job at Lowe's, and I would have still been doing nothing at Lowe's. Or I could put this hard work in and struggle and sacrifice everything into this ring announcing career and watch it and see what I can make out of it. And 4 years later, it's been nothing but fruition. So it's been worth it. It's been what's kind of keeping me pushing and going.
You've been
and keeping
killing
me
it.
alive.
You've
Yeah.
been
Oh,
killing
thank
it.
you.
Well, also,
I
you've been
try.
killing it. You've been killing it in a gym as well. So tell me,
Yes.
so
Well,
tell,
that's a part of my career.
well, yeah. So how important has, fitness and your gym life and all that? How important has that become for you in your everyday life?
It's something that I'm just always clocked in for. I don't take it to the like so serious to the point where I'm like, oh, I can't eat that. I can't eat that. I used to be, but I was like, shit, that's tamales. Shoot them. Let me get 3 of them. Like, let me eat those tamales, But I do know my boundaries or whatnot. But it has taken a really big effect because I wasn't this sexy back then. I'm just gonna put it out there like that right here, right now. I wasn't all this back then. I was a whole lot heavier. I just, there was nothing really unique about me. I remember one time this real pretty girl walked past me when I was working at Lowe's, and some guy goes, damn, she's beautiful. And he looked at me and he goes, you got potential. And I was like, potential? Like, you ain't never seen me dressed up, right? And that pissed me off, dude. That totally pissed me off. And I was like, I'm pretty with my hair down and my makeup on. But he was right. I never had my hair down or my makeup on or whatnot. And so that's kind of why once I became, actually, I was working out before I became a ring announcer. I figured that, like I said, something big was going to come. So the only control that I really had over my life at that point was my fitness and my health. And so I took full control over it. And I think because of that, what's helped me actually control the rest of my life. Because, sometimes the universe is going to have to shake you up and get people out of your life that you don't need there no more. And so because I became more focused on myself and I chose me and I wanted to, just be more appealing. I didn't want to be skinny, but I wanted to tighten up. And I had personal goals in my fitness. And so because I focused on my fitness, it was easier to focus on my ring announcing, because the better I did at working out, the better I was going to look in the ring. And the better I looked in the ring, the better I was going to sound in the ring. The better I looked and sound in the ring, more people were going to want me. So I knew that this was something that I had full control over. And that's what I took control of. And so it's just been significant in my life, because it's helped me discipline not only my body, but my mind and my soul. It's really deep. It's just been everything, to be honest with you.
Well, with that said, you've also added like some boxing and some other like
Mm-hmm.
martial arts training into your workout regimen. And as a martial artist myself, I'm a second degree
Mm-hmm.
black belt in Taekwondo. I
Yep.
absolutely love seeing women get involved. Like, they don't even have to fight. As long as you're training some combat sports and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is so dope. So what was your motivation for wanting to implement that into your workout routine?
I used to be in boxing when I was really young. That's
Oh,
probably why you
really?
notice I'm so good. Yeah, not joking. But that was an outlet for me. When I lived in Utah, my brother played basketball. We used to go to the Sorensen Center, and my brother would play, which is the rec, and he would go play his basketball, and I'm like, I want to do something too. And so they had boxing, $10 a month. And I went up there, hey, how can I sign up? Blah, blah, blah. So I took a form to my mom, just give me $10 a month and I'll sign up, give me 3 months. And that's how boxing started, because that's one of my most favorite sports that I actually enjoy doing the most. And so moving around or whatnot, I never really was stable enough to do boxing again. So once I became a ring announcer, like actually, this was before ring announcing. I was boxing again. I was already boxing in the little home gym in a small town right here called Armona. So I was already boxing there. But then when I became the ring announcing in college and everything, I kind of got distracted. So I let it go again. But then once I got stable again in my home, I went back out and I went looking for more boxing and more combat sports. But then in 2020, I made the decision that I want to do ring announcing for MMA and eventually UFC. And so that's pretty much how I got into more of the combative sports, the kickboxing or whatnot. So I actually want to continue with that.
With your working out and your training and everything else you've been doing to keep yourself in shape, we already know you've been doing your thing on the microphone, you've been doing your thing in the ring announcing arena. Have you ever wanted to set foot in the ring and wrestle?
No, never. I actually wanted to do more fighting for MMA than to want to be a wrestler. I know, it sounds crazy. I don't know why, but I don't know if you heard me earlier, but MMA and UFC is like my ultimate goal of what I really want to do and ring announce for. And so I kind of just always been where my interest was at. So when I was training, I stopped because of the pandemic, of course, but when I was training for MMA, I actually was like, I'll take a fight. I'll take a fight if y'all let me, or to play around or to spar. Like, I trained as if I was going to be a fighter. But I just don't have any interest. I'm a ring announcer. I have the best seat in the house. You know, I want to see them do what they do. It's magic in front of me too. I'm just as shocked as everybody else when they're out there watching a show. And I get to enjoy that. And I think I enjoy it too much to even want to become that.
Yeah, and another reason I can tell that you don't want to be a wrestler because you want to hit people for real.
Yeah, I do. I really, no disrespect, but I really can't be like, like, nah, we gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Like, yeah, I really want to throw some blows.
And you want to actually feel their face on your hand. I totally get it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you do it too.
Oh yeah, man. That's how I felt. I did my first tournament last year, and I felt this guy's entire existence on my hand after I landed a punch. I was like, oh, okay. Didn't know I had that in me.
It feels good though. You're like, ooh, let's do that again.
I mean, I like getting hit. I like to hit, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
Now, I interviewed my boy CJ Shine. He's a professional wrestler. I interviewed him, I think, maybe a week or so ago, and he and I were discussing, people he watched coming up as far as wrestling and even stuff on TV that he, added to what he does. Now, as a ring announcer, it could be someone on the news, or other ring announcers outside of wrestling. Has there been anyone that you've taken little bits and pieces from and applied them to what you do when you're on the microphone?
That's a good question. Well, it's really funny though, because I really do like the style of two ring announcers, especially Michael Buffer, and I also really like Julian Garcia. Yeah, or Lillian Garcia. I said Julian, I'm sorry, but Lillian Garcia.
Two legends, so, okay.
Yeah, so and she's okay. So this is what I like about Michael is how professional he is, and what I like about that is, like, I know that I can, they want me to be a sexy little Latina. They want me, all curvy out there, but I really, really like the way he looks professional. I like the way he looks in his tuxedo. I like the way he sounds. He's very appealing to look at inside of the ring, and so I really take that away from him, but I really like the way his voice is, like the way he's like, the way he can really extend like a chord. And so there's a lot of names that I practice, like, I'll just use an example for, Titus Alexander. He's a professional wrestler up in Sacramento, his future franchise, Titus Alexander. His name, I love playing with it because it already sounds like a champion. So I kind of take the Michael Buffer, and I play a lot with his last name. So I'll be like, Titus Alexander, and I throw the whole long name in there because a lot of the pro wrestling, they keep it real short. So I like to use, when it comes to longer names that I can play with in a longer sense, I like to use, Michael Buffer's sense. But with Lillian Garcia, she just sounds great talking. So that's kind of why I don't like to sound like I'm singing a song when I'm out there ring announcing, because she always looks beautiful, absolutely. But she gets right to the point. Like, she doesn't take too much attention from anybody. And to me, that's really important in the business and pro wrestling, because it's about the wrestlers, it's about the talent, it's not about the ring announcer. And so I like that she keeps it real simple, real short. And, if it's going to be a championship match, she tells you it's a championship match, but it sounds professional. And then they sell, the title that's coming out, and then they bring out the wrestlers. And so I kind of just intertwine both of them inside of who I am as a person. But the professional look is actually the thing that I'm really going for. And that's right now my idol is Michael Buffer because of it. I'm not saying I want to wear a tuxedo, but I do want to adopt some type of style that matches that type of professionalism in the ring. I don't want little dresses where I'm going in and out of the ring and my chonies are hanging out, because I've had a lot of little girls come up to me in the shows, and they've actually been my biggest fans in the ring. And I know you have all these guys who want to see something that's appealing and that's sexy, and I get it. I mean, it's so much easier to look at that. But I have a daughter. I have a daughter right here at home. She's playing on the PS4 right now. And so I care about her. I care about her generation. And so when I see that, you know, I'm in a really pretty dress, but that little, you know, that trouble of coming in and outside of a ring, because you never know if you're going to be on a stool, your chonies are going to come out, or your bra is going to show, or something like that. And I just want to show more class, and I just want to be more appropriate, because our younger generation is growing up a little bit opposite of that. And I kind of just want to bring that back into society, technically.
And that is why you are the princess of ring announcing, right?
I'll take it all day.